So once again, if you've seen my channel, you know my absolute love of Joy Reid. Being that I think that she is a hypocrite racist and probably, in my opinion, the absolute worst. You know, would you call her an anchor? I don't know if she's really an anchor, but the worst person, her and what's her other one, Rachel Maddow, are the two worst people on TV right now. And since Donald Trump won the election, MSNBC, man, they are literally on the skids. Forget the fact that Comcast has MSNBC up for sale, and I don't blame them. I mean, MSNBC is a dog, and since Donald Trump won the election, their viewership has dropped a staggering 53% since Donald Trump won. So let's think about that for a minute. Why would their viewership drop 53%? Well, it's simple. Because before Donald Trump won the election, the Democrats had a narrative. You know, orange man bad. Everything was orange man bad. That's all they had. They had no policy to run on. They had no victories at all to run on. I mean, come on, let's be honest. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, this last 4 years in the future will be studied as one of the worst times in America under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. They have made an absolute mockery out of the United States with their woke DEI agenda, and it failed. It backfired. And since Donald Trump won, I think, that most of America is pretty much, they lied. MSNBC, everything they said was a lie. Everything they were lying about with everything they were saying about Donald Trump was an absolute lie. That's why they've lost their viewership, 53%. That is a massive number for them to lose. And, and obviously these 53%, they've gone off to other mediums. They've gone off to either, I doubt CNN. I doubt that very seriously because theirs is down significantly also. Some of them may have jumped over to Fox News. Some of them may have jumped over to some other, not so left-wing fringe lunatic news channel, news shows. Or a lot of them probably just jumped over to social media. And because that seems to be where most people are getting their news from. And it's understandable why. The people on the media outlets, the news outlets, have gotten such a bad reputation because of the constant lying and the constant fear-mongering. And let's be honest, on CNN and MSNBC, the constant racism. Racism would not be anything that it is if it wasn't for those liberals who constantly stoke racial fears, like Joy Reid. Another one is Sunny Hostin. Oh my God, man, that chick, she fires... She's constantly throwing matches into the fire of racism. Hostin is. She's horrible. She also needs to go. But MSNBC's Joy Reid loses roughly half her viewers since the election. And the other primetime hosts also are struggling over at MSNBC. The Readout, which is one of the worst shows on TV, and Joy Reid is pathetically bad. She's horrible at what she does. The Readout has lost 47% of its total audience, and they are averaging 759,000 viewers after averaging 1.4 million leading up to the election. So what happened? What happened was America spoke. Nobody believed the lies. And not only did Donald Trump win the electorate, he also won the popular vote. So obviously, they were wrong about everything, and America didn't believe them. And if you've noticed, since Donald Trump has taken the presidency, things are already starting to happen. Where the hell is Joe Biden? Where's Kamala Harris? They are not leading the country right now. Donald Trump is not even in office, and he's the one leading the country. He's the one taking charge. And that's what a real leader does. Because Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were never real leaders. They were puppets for the Obama administration. And don't even get me started on what that clown's been saying. Because Obama, it is time for the Democrats to put that man out to pasture. Obama's time has come. It is gone. He's wrong about everything, and he just needs to move on with his life. He made millions from being the president. He made tens of millions from being the president. He's got all the money he'll ever need, so just go away. He needs to go over and move to France or move to Canada and leave the real Americans here in America and just get out of the way. Reid even lost more viewers among the advertiser-coveted demographic, which is 25 to 54. That is the demo that everybody wants. That is the demo that drives their money. She has lost 52% of the key demographic between 25 and 54. And that is massive. I don't know how she hasn't been fired already. I can't quite wrap my brain around how she hasn't just, you know what? Your viewership's down. You're a hypocritical idiot. You're racist. It's just time to get rid of you and move on. Let's see. Her primetime colleagues have also suffered devastating losses in viewership. The network's primetime lineup has lost a whopping 53% in total viewers, averaging 621,000, and an astonishing 61% of the viewers in the key demo, again, which is that 24 to 57. Is it 24 to 57? What is that? I got all this stuff written down. It's the 25 to 54, I'm sorry. And again, they've lost 61% overall of that key demographic. Rachel Maddow, which is the other absolutely worst, the worst. This is the woman, I don't know, if I had to throw a dart at which one I could not stand the most, Joy Reid or Rachel Maddow, I don't know which way my dart would land, because both of them are liars. But the one that really gets me the most about Rachel Maddow is her on there, running her big mouth. If you get the shot, you cannot catch COVID. You cannot catch COVID. That was an absolute lie. And boy, did she push that narrative, because that's what liberals do. It's the narrative. It's not the truth. It's the narrative. And then she came out, just pushing, if you wear a mask, you cannot spread COVID. Well, that ended up being an absolute lie also. And boy, did they push it. And that's the one thing with her that really, besides all the other idiotic things she's done, that's the one that really just sticks in my mind all the time. That was blatant, straight up lying they were doing to everybody. And nobody called her out on it. And they just let it go. They just let it go. But Rachel Maddow, who's actually their number one, I'm not going to call them anchors. I don't even think they're anchors. I don't know what they are. They're on-air personalities, and they really don't have a lot of personality. And she's only on Mondays, for the crying out loud. She makes this crazy paycheck for doing shows on a Monday. She was averaging $2.4 million before the election. She is now down $1.4 million, a 43% drop. And in the key demographic, she's down 56. Okay, that means that nobody believes her anymore. Trump won the election in a historic fashion. Trump decimated Drinks on the House Harris, decimated her. She blew through $1.5 billion and accomplished nothing, except now everybody's starting to see what a fraud she was. Now that everybody's got time to sit back and look at her campaign, it was a complete joke. It was a disaster from the very start. And now granted, you still have those hanger-oners that, just believe, that they will toe the line no matter what. They still believe that Kamala Harris was the best choice, even though, most people in the world knew she was the absolute wrong choice. The All-In host, Chris Hayes, has lost 56% of his demographic. He's gone. Hayes' Monday night replacement, inside host Joan Psaki, Joan Psaki, whatever. I can't even remember how to pronounce her name. Boy, I mean, what a bad idea was bringing her on. Lost 61% of the key demographic, only averaging 57,000. The former Biden press secretary also lost 53% of her audience, now averaging 710,000. Alex Wagner, who fills in for Maddow on her god-awful show Tuesday through Friday, lost more than half of her total viewers, averaging just 660,000, which is, I'm shocked that many people are even watching that. And of course, with Lawrence O'Donnell, The Last Word, averaging 930,000 total viewers since the election and 78,000 in the key demographic. He's lost more than 40% in each of his metrics. So I really don't understand what's going on at MSNBC, besides they got a whole shitload of very bad people anchoring their shows. And I've said this a million times, if MSNBC, and forget the fact that Comcast has got them up for sale. Comcast wants them gone. Now, Comcast is also a very woke company, but they want them gone. Comcast wants to unload the dead weight. And MSNBC right now is absolutely dead weight. And we've heard the rumors that Elon Musk is thinking about buying it, but I doubt that very seriously. I cannot see Elon Musk buying MSNBC, because he's buying an absolute dead horse. Now, would that revitalize the network? Absolutely. It would revitalize it in a heartbeat. Hell, I would go over and start watching it just because Elon Musk owned it, because I knew that at least there would be truth in what they're saying, because right now there's no truth in anything MSNBC says. I don't have a fact checker here in front of me, but I've watched it numerous times to see how they're reacting to whatever's happening that day. And I'm sitting here thinking, my God, they're lying through their teeth. How are they even on the air? And worse yet, how are people watching them and believing what they say? It's just absolutely amazing to me. And they're getting Joy Reid, man. She's just a big hypocritical racist is all she is. She needs to go. So the best thing for MSNBC right now, and this is what I think, okay, if Elon Musk buys it, then obviously it's going to be an instant turn. And, hell, Elon Musk could put me on. I would take a show. He only has to pay me a tenth of what he's paying these other idiots. He didn't have to pay me that much. Shit, I would almost do it for free just because it would be fun. And I guarantee you I could get higher ratings than Rachel Maddow and Joy Reid. I guarantee it. Because at least I'm not going to sit here and lie about everything. At least what's going to come out of my mouth is going to be the truth. But I've said it. If Elon Musk buys it, then, maybe MSNBC has some saving grace. But if he doesn't buy it and some other network picks it up or some other big conglomerate picks it up, then the first thing they got to do is they got to fire Joy Reid and Rachel Maddow. That is the only way to save MSNBC, is to fire Joy Reid and Rachel Maddow. You get rid of those two clowns, those two hypocrites, and you put somebody in there with, that an inkling of the truth inside of them, because those two have none. And you might be able to turn this dying, dead network around. Because all that happened here was for 4 years leading up to the election, they were anti-Trump everything. Trump wins the election, kills it, absolutely destroys them, destroys Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, absolutely kills them, wins the election, and I'm pretty sure that when he did, everybody's light bulb went off and said, well, hell, were they lying this entire time? Well, yeah, they were. Joy Reid and Rachel Maddow this whole time have been lying and pushing the Democrat narrative and misleading the entire American public. And if you don't believe me, just look at their numbers.